The U.S. so-called solution for Gaza, mass expulsion and redevelopment, has been widely condemned. Now, how serious is this proposal from your point of view?
Good evening, and thanks for having me. I think it's pretty serious, even if it's not possible to be carried out, but it definitely reflects some sort of a strategy that the new U.S. president is planning to follow while dealing with the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. And I think that we have to deal with it very carefully. And it's a matter that touches upon regional Arab security, and that's why I think it's very important for all influential Arab countries that maintain good relations with the United States to coordinate their positions and to present the new Trump administration with a united front rejecting this proposal, which will basically mean liquidating the Palestinian cause and their ambition and aspiration to build their own independent state. I mean, maybe some analysts would look at it that Mr. Trump is trying to raise expectations. He's trying to make some sort of unreachable demands so that he can push Arab countries to accept other concessions he's planning to offer to Israel, most probably in the West Bank. But I think we have to be very careful about Mr. Trump's announcement that he will soon make a statement on his policy on the West Bank. Maybe he's making this unrealistic project on Gaza so that when he scales it down or pull it back, he might ask Arab countries to accept other decisions he would make on the Israeli annexation of the West Bank, or maybe as well seeking to push countries like Saudi Arabia to start the process of normalization without necessarily obtaining the earlier pledge to build an independent Palestinian state. But the ideas that Mr. Trump has in mind, his actual policies and decisions during his first term, recognizing Jerusalem, occupied East Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, and the annexation of the Golan Heights, of Syria's Golan Heights to Israel, is just an indication of how much biased he is to Israel. And of course, the situation right now in his second term in office might even look more worrying, considering the members of his cabinet and how much they are hardline supporters of Israel and the Zionist dream of controlling all of Palestine. So it definitely must be taken seriously, I think so.
Exactly as you said. Now, some Israeli politicians have supported the so-called project, and others have dismissed it. Do you think Netanyahu's government is using Trump's rhetoric to test the waters for more aggressive policies? What do you think? What do you have for that?
Well, to be very honest, I think Mr. Trump's statements and repeated statements, actually one of surprising aspects of this entire saga is how he daily insists on making references to this project. But I've been reading in the Israeli media that basically Netanyahu and his cabinet are celebrating the Trump policy and the Trump project because it's basically turned the entire agenda upside down, including the ongoing ceasefire agreement, which Mr. Trump's personal envoy to the Middle East, Mr. Steve Witkoff, has personally negotiated. But I mean, the issue right now is not only related to this mysterious contradicting project on Gaza, but even blowing off the entire ceasefire agreement by making the recent statements he made about releasing all the Israeli hostages held by Hamas on Saturday, and not even according to the agreement that was signed that has a very specific, detailed schedule, 3 each week or maybe 4 each week, but not definitely all of them all at once, and threatening that all hell will break loose. So definitely the Israeli government has a lot to celebrate, and that they actually feel that they can even easily violate and ignore the ceasefire agreement that was reached. And there is a lot of confusion between here today and Saturday on what exactly going to happen, whether, Israel would just be satisfied with Hamas restoring to the old or the recently reached agreement releasing only 3, or they're going to ask for the release of 9, or what does it mean exactly by Mr. Trump that all of them have to be released. So, definitely Mr. Trump's stand and his kind of unpractical and threats to push the entire region towards more instability is not helping at all in creating the conditions for stability on the region. On the contrary, it's basically encouraging the most extremist members of Mr. Netanyahu's government. And let's listen to the statements that are being daily made by the Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, that basically thinks that this is the golden time for Israel to maintain all that it wants from the United States and to kill forever the Palestinian state project and right that the Palestinian people have been fighting for over the past 70 or 80 years.
Now, furthermore, Mr. Khaled, the U.S. has threatened to cut aid to Egypt and Jordan if they both refuse to accept Palestinian refugees. Now, how is the Arab world reacting to these coercive tactics?
Well, let me first of all mention that, in his daily statements, Mr. Trump has been making contradicting statements on this issue. So on one day he says, yeah, why not? Maybe I can use this aid issue to pressure Egypt and Jordan to accept his illusional plan. And when he was sitting next to the King of Jordan, King Abdullah, on yesterday, he basically said that they are above this issue and that he doesn't think that he needs to use this matter anymore. So, obviously, that's Mr. Trump's character. Every day he might make a new statement, but I think it was very important today that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi had a direct phone conversation with Jordan's King Abdullah to build up on the Arab momentum to present a united stand to the United States on the reconstruction of Gaza without this fantasy of Mr. Trump of emptying the Gaza Strip from its residents. And we've already heard and seen a statement issued by the Egyptian Foreign Ministry saying that Egypt has a detailed plan on how to rebuild Gaza within 3 to 5 years without needing at all to remove any of the Palestinians and to empty the Palestinian territories from its original residents. So I think maybe will remain some wise voices, wise institutions within the United States who will ask Mr. Trump to consider the strategic relationship that he maintains, or the United States maintains, with Egypt and Jordan over the past decades, and that jeopardizing those kinds of relations by using the issue of military aid or economic aid that the United States is presenting to Jordan is threatening U.S. interests. So if we
No, Mr. Khaled, because we're running out of time. Now, finally,
yes.
Will the Arab world unite behind Egypt's stance, rejecting all displacement plans, and will the upcoming Arab summit be a proper platform to express such a position?
I hope so very much, and I think the indications are pretty promising. Even before the meeting between King Abdullah and Mr. Trump, there was a meeting among Arab foreign ministers, the closest allies to the United States, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. And I think that they are planning to meet again, perhaps next week before the Arab summit, to work on this united Arab stance.
How important, Mr. Khaled,
threat to regional Arab security, and it must be dealt with firmly.
Yes, how important, Mr. Khaled, is such a unity position?
That's the only way to push Mr. Trump to change his strategy. Besides, actually, Mr. Trump is actually opening many fights on many fronts.
Right.
I mean, hopefully he would recognize the dangerous consequences of his rhetoric and how much instability it's causing already in the region, I mean, the region already cannot take anymore. We're looking for peace. We're looking for stability to end the Gaza war and not to open
Yes.
new chances for conflict and instability.